Hey there. I just want to make this quick video to show how you can use Jasper, the emboss mode, to actually help you write a fiction story in less than 10 minutes. Let's make a story from here and see how it goes. So let's use basic storyline that we all know. Jack and Jill went up the hill. But this time, let's say that they were captured by elves on the hill. So this is your title. Jasper would be dictated in how it writes based on your title, your content description. Sometimes you could put a good tone of voice, and you could put some keywords that you really wanted to follow. But for now, I think a title and content should be more enough for us to really start create this short story. So let's think about this. This is a story of Jack and Jill who went up the hill and were captured by elves that thought, they were trespassing on the hill. Now we could add a little more. Jasper's fully able to flesh something out from here. And let's see what it actually comes up with. So in boss mode, we could actually give commands on what we want Jasper to do with the information that we gave it. Good way to put a command is by putting this bracket. Let's say, give us some additional scenarios that would happen with the above. And the above would be the content description and the title. So you press Ctrl Shift Enter, see what happens. Ctrl J to see a little bit more. So I'm going to try give us some additional scenarios that would happen after the above, and let's see what happens here. That's hilarious. Alright, so we have something with an elf council here. We have the elf emergency squad, and elves are just misunderstood. So we have some storyline aspects here that we can actually use in crafting our story. So let's try it out. So we can put they were captured by the elf emergency squad and taken to the Elven Council. And they were imprisoned as the council believed they were spies for the gnome people who lived on a mountain close by, and they were close to war with them. The duo had to find a way to get out of here and make peace. So to start off, let's see if we can write a descriptive introductory paragraph to this story before they are captured. So let's see what they come up with. Okay, so this is actually pretty good. Jack and Jill have been friends for a long time. They always went up to something together, but today was different. Today they wanted to explore the hill that their town rested on. It seemed like there was so much more than what met the eye from the ground level. They knew this because of all the stories that people told about it. So this actually makes a pretty good introduction for you to build on, where you can speak a little bit more about some elements that came in here, or you can go ahead and try it again and see what else comes out of it if you are not happy with what Jasper, churned out. It's completely up to you. See it as an writing assistant. Here's another one. Jack and Jill were trekking up the hill when they heard a noise in the bushes. They looked to see where it came from. They saw an elf with red hair and green eyes. Ooh. He was wearing a long cloak that showed his pointy ears sticking out of the hood. Jack and Jill ran back down the hill as fast as they could. So that sets up maybe for a horror story. Whereas it seems as though the other one that was created sets up for a mystery or thriller. So it all depends on what you want to write and what direction you want your story to go into. Now I for one like more mystery thriller vibe for this story, because I feel there's a lot more you can do with it in these windows, these short segments. But of course it's completely up to the writer with what they want to do. But I'm going to continue with the first story that was created. Let's see how it goes from there. Let's say they heard about elves in a distant group of creatures known as the gnomes that lived deep in the crevices of the old, say, Masonic mountains at the edge of the known earth. Now, Jasper will take what you have here and would add to it based on this information and this information, with simply clicking compose or Control J. So you have a little bit more here. It was said that these two groups were at peace with each other, but no one really knew for sure. What Jack and Jill didn't know was that they would be the ones to find out. So this sets up for a nice pacing, a nice setup for the story that you are going to tell. And to think that we basically started this off with just a premise of Jack and Jill going up the hill, and then we added one element of captured by elves, the reason being because they thought they were trespassing on the hill. Jasper gave us the elf emergency squad and the elven council where they would plead their case, and then I brought in the gnome people who lived in a mountain nearby and were close to war with them, and so now we're creating that story based on those elements. We can actually let Jarvis create a bit more in boss mode to see where it really is taking that story. More lanky, sparser, eventually opening the hill, and they were captured by a squad of elves. The elf emergency squad, if you will. They were all dressed in green with leafy helmets cover their ears and hid their faces. They had bows and arrows drawn and pointing at them. So I think I'll put some dialogue here. Write some clever dialogue between the duo and the elf emergency squad. Let's see what happens. Hold on a second, Jill exclaimed as the elves approached with their bows drawn. We're not trespassing, we're just exploring. Exploring, one of the elves said skeptically. On elven ground? I don't think so. Please, we don't mean to intrude. So I love where this is going. I'm going to let Jasper continue with what it has to say. Excellent. I love it. I love it. Now, I know I said you could have a story within 10 minutes. It all depends on how deep you want to go and what you really want out of the story. It's always good to go in knowing that you have a message for your readers, or maybe just something that they can enjoy from it. So Jasper came up with the dialogue. You can continue from here and fill it out. Maybe make a 5,000 word story based on that. Maybe even a short story at 2,000 words. So I'm going to write a little bit more and see where we can go with this. Alright, so there, the council. Let's see what happens. So here's the thing. You have to direct where you want Jasper to go. In this case, it just wrote descriptively what happened within the case. But if you want to even go deeper and see what was already spoken about when they try to plead a case, you can give a command of write Jack and Jill defending themselves at the council trying their best with them. Let's see what happens with this command. Okay, well, we didn't get too much there. I want to continue from this point, so I'll go here and I'm going to compose, and it's going to pull everything from before. So check this out. How do we know you're not lying? For all we know, you've been working for them. That's ridiculous. How we work for them, you don't even know them. Exactly. That's why we think what he says. We just want to explode. And you're going, we don't know. So now the dialogue goes back to my content here in the description, where I speak about a war is close. It's not out yet, but it's there. It's understood that that is part of the environment. That's part of the storyline. And Jasper was smart enough to bring that up in the conversation and allow that to be part of the story, intertwined with the story that we want to tell here. So I'm going to try and wrap this up very quickly. Let's see. Right away for Jack and Jill to cleverly escape the imprisonment from the elves and save the day. Let's see what happens. So start to look at any weak points in the cell, but it was made all solid stone, no cracks or openings. They tried to pick lock with a screwdriver. They even tried to break the door. It was no use. What if we create a distraction? We can make so much noise that the elves will come to see what's going on. Then we can sneak out while they. Now, in some story cases, that you might want to come with something a bit more creative, but it allows you to start somewhere. So it gets the creative juices flowing, where you can now figure out where you want to take this at this point in time. So for example, they came to see what was going on, they were distracted. I don't think that's too convincing, so I will direct Jasper in another direction with this. So I put what you're whining about there. Let's see what happens at this point. It came with the aspect we're hungry, we're thirsty, we need water. Let's see what happens. Now again, it goes back to the idea of the distraction. I'm not vibing the distraction too much. So maybe how about we bring in something about the gnomes. Let's see what we can make where, since the elves are so afraid of gnomes, let's see what Jack and Jill can do to using gnomes as a distraction, or he thought of gnomes as a distraction. So I just added a few things where we know where the gnomes are. They are on their way here. Elf comes in the disbelief, opening the prison door. Then Jill basically takes the keys off him while he's listening to Jack. And now, once he's left, they are going to make their escape and sneak out the cell and make their way back down the hill. And I think what I'll do now is I will write a heartfelt conclusion to this story. Let's see what happens. This is interesting. So it tries to make a moral of the story, where it says it's a reminder that we should be careful not to intrude on others' territories. That's interesting. Let's see what happens if we put write an exciting conclusion to the story. It didn't really pull too much excitement there. So let's see, let's try to write a wonderful conclusion to this story. So sometimes it'll give you a summary of the above, but you need to train it, Jasper, in giving you a pretty nice story. So I would say that this one is a pretty nice conclusion. Yeah, there's still a lot of things up in the air right now with Jack and Jill and their fugitive status from the elves on the hill and what's going to happen with gnomes. But again, all that can still come into play with how much you want to write in your story. The beautiful thing about it is that we are at about 1,000 words, 1,000 plus words, 6 minutes of reading time, and you can do your first drafts in here, polish it, do some proofreading, some editing. You can actually do some plagiarism checks here as well, just to make sure that it's not pulling from anything that is existing already. Now, Jasper reads about 10% of the internet, but it's also developed by user feedback, user creation. So when it outputs something that is good, it's upvoted or it's suggested for improvements. When it outputs something negative, it's downgraded or not something that it tries to output again, which has resulted in it giving more accurate outputs based on what you bring to the table with it. Now, typically people use Jasper for blog writing, non-fiction writing, and anything like factual, but I found that it's pretty good in helping with the creative aspects. It really starts to understand creative elements and plays around it, as we saw with the potential war between the two races here, and it brought it into the story in the conversation higher up here. So what I would actually recommend is that you can try out Jasper. There is a promotion going on where you get 10,000 words in boss mode, this mode here where you can edit on the document setting for free, and then you can upgrade to a scalable plan on any boss mode that you like based on the amount of words you'd like to use. Now, I probably generated more than 1,000 words with the continuous generation and deleting, and I think I probably would have done about maybe 1,500 words. But what I found from this is that you literally can make multiple short stories or even a one long story, maybe a 5,000 10,000, 20,000. I've actually done a 20 to 25,000 word book in here already, right, with the hybrid writing between myself and Jasper. And you can proofread it, give it a cover, and put it out there on the booksellers, and you would be paying back for what you pay for the program right away. In fact, you could actually take the 10,000 words and you could start to write, get something published, and put it out there long before you actually have to take the paid version of Jasper. I think that's a good way if you are having trouble writing, you don't know how to put the words down, maybe you need some help with structure, and maybe you just need that assistant there helping you out as you go along, and you just don't want to look at a blinking cursor and a blank screen all the time. This is a good option. Again, I have produced a lot of content with this. I produced about 3 books already with the help of Jasper, and I intend to do a lot more with that. So I wanted to make this video to really show you how easy it is, and if you were to just sit down and work with it, how quickly you could churn something out. So my link will be listed for Jasper for you to get that deal of 10,000 words to generate on boss mode in the description. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My contact is at the description already as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoy using it, and if you'd like to see a tutorial on how to use it for non-fiction writing, I will be providing that as well. It should be in the list of videos. Alright, until next time, take care and have a great day.